Good morning, everyone. I'm back again. What is that? Hang on. Gotta get up. Hope everyone's good. Yeah. Gotta get my boy. Hey,
Hey,
how
what's
you
going on, man?
been?
Good,
Good,
man. How are
good.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sunday here. Sunday morning.
Nice. Saturday afternoon for me here. So,
How you been? How's the family?
it's good now. We had a little bit of we had some COVID come through the house for us a couple weeks ago. So,
Oh,
yeah.
hope
So,
hope everyone's all right.
yeah, we got pretty lucky. We had I myself had a mild case. My mom also had a mild case, and we would be the two kind of immune compromised people in the house.
Mm.
So, my dad did have he was in bed for about a week with COVID, but no hospital or anything, so that was good. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
we're on the mend. Everything's locked up real tight here, here in Ontario at least. So, waiting for things to open up. I'm dying without golf. It's I need to get out, and like that was a good way for me to kind of like socially and see people, and in a
Mm,
safe
mm,
way. And government doesn't seem to think so. So,
no. Well, hopefully it gets better soon. You know,
yeah.
it's really bad for everybody at the moment.
Yeah, how are things in Australia? They're pretty good down there, right?
Yeah, they got it under control. We've got
Yeah,
case in here in Sydney, but they got it under control. Ever since, like, if they have one case, they'll go back to that, this
yeah,
restriction.
yeah. Which is good, like, because we're like you, you're talking about one. There's one case in Sydney. Our entire province has, I think we're at like 2,000 cases a
Wow.
day, a day. So yeah, they opened us up way too early, and now now when it's nice, it's finally getting nice up here. We can't go out and enjoy the weather.
Mm.
So it
How's
is
how's
what
your
it is.
how's your podcast going?
Good, good.
How was
Yeah,
the one with what do you call it?
Ken.
Yeah. How did
It
it
was good.
go?
It was if anyone hasn't checked it out, definitely go back and check that one out because he dropped so much knowledge and talked about so much different stuff. It was crazy. And like if for anyone who's listened to our podcast, like, there's five of us, we're all very talkative, we all chime in with different points and perspectives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were quiet for like an hour. Like he just the kind of stuff, the knowledge and things that he was talking about, like we just no one had anything to say. Like it was crazy. He dropped so much like little gems and like things that are coming up in the next year and just like the history he talked about with Jordan ones was crazy. So like outstanding. Like it was just that was one of those ones and we kind of looked back at it and I talked with Rich and a couple other guys and it was like, man, we were like super quiet, but like I didn't have anything else. Like I didn't have anything to say. Like I had nothing that I could have added to that conversation.
Mm.
So if anyone hasn't gone and checked it out, definitely go check it out. That was a really good episode, and thank you so much for setting that up. Like that was really huge to get him on our pod.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking I've got another guy because Buckeye City Soul last night, and I
Yeah,
think he'll
Kev. Yeah,
be, I think he'll be good for that too because I think he's doing the same thing as you.
yeah,
He'll be good
yeah.
to
Because they do
collab.
one day. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. He's definitely we've got a couple good guys coming up. I guess I can say because we posted it this morning, but we have Soul Pack coming on this week.
Mm.
So I don't know if you're familiar with them or not.
Soul Pack, nah.
Check it out. It's on our story right now. A couple guys that you feature quite frequently. They're brand sponsors for them, I believe.
Mm.
Eric AP11, I believe it is.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah. I think. Mm.
the carrying case for the shoes that you put on like the side of your backpack.
Mm.
He's one of the or he's one of the brand ambassadors. I don't know what they call it for them. So we've known Mike for a while from Soul Pack, the guy who invented it and everything. So we definitely wanted to get him on once we kind of had some footing with the pod. So he's going to be on this week, and then we're scheduled to have Mr. Miller on the week after that.
Yeah, Mr. Mill is good.
Yeah,
He's got a good heart.
yeah, that's such a good guy, man. He's been supporting us since we started. Like we started our page. Uh, I don't even remember when that was. Maybe like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, same
So
thing as you guys. You guys been supporting me since I started.
yeah, yeah, sure.
2000,
Well,
2015, I started.
yeah, and we definitely started before that, but I don't remember
Mm,
what the timeline looked like. Probably like 2013, I want to say.
wow.
It's probably about 8 years. Yeah, probably about 8 years.
You guys got
So
plans when this COVID's over? Should be doing the sneaker show over there.
we're waiting, man. We're waiting. Because we threw two sneaker shows with our group in 2015 and 2016 up here.
Yeah, I seen the
So they were,
photos up there.
yeah. So they were received pretty well. It just, there was a bunch of other shows coming into town at that time, and that was kind of like sneaker shows started to be a big thing. So, and a
Mm,
couple of our guys had kids, so we
busy.
stopped for a little bit. But yeah. Well, even with the pod, right? It was kind of the right time for everyone to jump back into things.
Mm,
So definitely something we want to do once COVID's over. Because even Flippin' Laces, who's one of our guys who's been on the pod twice already, he throws a show which is really, really usually always really good. I think that was the last show we actually went to, so that would have been November of 2019 up here.
mm.
So smaller show, but it gets a bunch of us out, and you, you talk about it with everyone, right? You're like, I'm so anxious to just get out and like see
Yeah, get
people and
it
do
done.
things now,
Yeah.
right? I very much consider myself a homebody before all this happened. And
Mm.
now I'm kind of like, all right, I'm ready to go out and do things. Let's go do this. Let's go do this. Let's go do this.
Well, I hope, it should be over soon, man. So we can do, you can do a lot of things. So
Yeah,
what's the
we're,
plan
we're
ahead? What's the plan ahead for the community?
I don't know. It's it depends what it's going to look like once we're out of this, right? Because like
Mm,
even within like I think you're right. Like I think we're close to, and we're getting a lot of vaccines. Like had I not had COVID, I would have been eligible to get a vaccine 2 weeks ago. I think it was week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They
mm.
opened up availability to my age, so I got to wait a little bit. But I mean, most of my friends I'm seeing are vaccinated now, or getting vaccinated, or they've at least got one shot in them. So that's good. You don't know what it's going to look like, and when are you going to have conventions with that many people in them again, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like, yeah, have
Especially
you
with
guys
the
had?
restrictions on, and
Yeah, exactly, right.
not
So
allowed to have much people in,
you might be able to gather in small groups again, right? Like you might be able to have some friends
Mm.
and family over, but like, I mean, have you guys had SneakerCon down there?
I think there's a group, the Kickstand, and I think they're gonna do one this year at the end of the year. But I think for me, I think it's a gamble to do one at the moment,
Yeah,
especially with all these cases. You don't know when
yeah,
it's gonna change the rules and the restriction.
yeah, yeah. It was volatile, right? Because you don't know, like it can change almost at a moment's notice, right?
Mm,
So it's tough. But yeah, like we'd love to start doing something again. We haven't really talked about what it is. It's not the right time to kind of discuss it. And like I said, you don't know what the world's going to look like once it starts to open up. So I think more just interested in seeing people again, like starting to see people. Like
mm.
we started I know Heads Ain't Ready he jumped in here at the beginning. I don't know if he's still here or not, but he's part of a group that we'd done with just some local collectors in Toronto. So we're all kind of excited to get out and play golf soon, hopefully.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
but like,
so
yeah, like
Sherman's in Norway. Look, the rules change here every week.
yeah, it's the same thing up here, man. It's exactly the same thing. Like the rules are, and our premier who's the leader of our province is he's an asshat. He just He doesn't get it. He's not listening to what the scientists say. Like, and I know I'm harping on golf a lot, but I'm a avid golfer, and not very happy. I can't get out. It's like 20 degrees out. It's the perfect golfing temperature, and I'm stuck inside looking out my windows. So, all the
I think
scientists that he.
I think
Go
you
ahead. Go ahead.
should I think you should do a bit more of a live IG as well.
Yeah,
When you got time between the podcast and your live IG. I
yeah.
think it
That's
would be
that's
good.
definitely something I've been considering for us to do because you can do 4 people on an IG live now, right?
Yes.
Up to 4 people.
Yes.
Yeah, because when Rich and I were doing it before we started the podcast, that was kind of just like a little teaser sort of thing. So it
Mm.
was like, okay, let's try this out and let's see how it works, sort of thing, and then we'll kind of, okay, if this goes well, then we can transition into a podcast, and then we can kind of invite a few more people on with us, right?
Mm.
I've definitely thought about doing that. I haven't quite actualized what that would look like for us yet, but it's definitely something I've considered doing because I know I see you guys, you're always doing lives. I'm typically, when you do them, just because of the time difference, I'm typically at
Yeah.
work.
It's
So I'm like,
it's hard sometimes
yeah,
with the
that
time
was the
difference.
only problem I found with the IG lives was that like everyone's got different schedules.
Mm.
So you can't always all jump on at the same time. And like we have a decent following and so do you, but I mean like, you're all over the world. There's different times, like even Creps on Creps, right? Same thing.
Mm.
They like I see they're doing lives all the time, but with the time difference, they're doing it, either like right when I start working or right when I'm still
Yeah.
in work. So that was the only thing, and like I kind of found that because you can post your lives after, right? Like you can post them on
Yes.
Instagram, right? So which
Yes.
was good, but I kind of felt because if they pop up in your feed, it shows that you viewed it. If it just starts to play,
Mm.
so I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel. Like there were numbers, but I don't know how I feel about the specifics of the numbers. So we definitely, it's something we're considering. We'll put it that way. It's definitely something that I think would be cool for us
Oh,
to do.
you can do the live IG show where there's the team, where your
Yeah.
team, and then you guys play the game on the live IG, you know?
Oh, you can do that now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like,
Okay.
like just on the live, you guys, the whole team,
Hmm.
like
Okay. All right.
four reviews, just I think it'd be a
Okay.
good
Good to
idea.
know. Good to
Mm.
know. Yeah, definitely something I'm looking to do or looking to maybe start over the summer because we would kind of like to have some kind of like video aspect as well. I don't know if we want to do YouTube yet, like or what that would look like for us.
Mm.
Because we're just kind of like we're just recording a Zoom call, right? It's nothing like super serious with the pod.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really actualized what that'll look like for us, so we'll see.
Mm. Having a coffee.
It's a morning for you. You got to have your coffee, right?
Yeah. Oh, I got I had my alarm on because yesterday I was like, oh shit, I forgot. I was supposed to talk to Trevor.
Yeah. It's all good, man. It worked out fine. I was kind of tired yesterday anyway, so like I kind of took like a mini nap. Like after I hadn't heard from you by like 6:30, I was like, all right, I'm gonna like shut her down for an hour.
Yeah, I had a bit of people on live IG this week because I'm gonna have a break next week. I'm going away.
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm?
going to I'm going to Melbourne just to visit.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, just for a
Uh,
family vacation or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Get away, right?
I'm gonna get one guy in from America. Hang on,
Sure.
is that all right?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, man.
Hang on, because I was supposed to get him in yesterday. I don't know if he's gonna pick up though. Hang on. No, he's not coming in. Anybody else have questions for us too?
Yeah. Anyone been
Anybody want?
actually listening to the pod?
Yo, yo.
That's Preach Sneaks.
Okay.
What's
Yeah. I
up?
think we follow you. Yeah. What's going on, man?
How you been? Right.
Rosen?
Good morning, kicking with a G.
Yeah, my bad. I was at
Oh,
my people crib.
it's freezing out. That's a bad reception.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, brother? Yeah, that's a bad reception. We'll get him in next time. Yeah. I can't get him up. He's froze up.
Yo.
This is my boy Smooth Leak. Smooth Leak,
Yo, what's
that's
going
Trevour.
on, y'all?
He just had a baby.
Yes.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Thank you. It's rough. I feel like I'll be meaning to jump on live with y'all guys and everything, but I'll be halfway asleep because the baby done just went to bed and whatnot, yo. It's crazy. Yo, it's something else.
That was a good video they made unboxing the baby.
Oh, you like the video? The baby unboxing. I had to take
Yeah,
it to the next
baby
level.
unboxing.
Since we can't find any sneakers,
That
I
was
might
good.
go unbox
That
the
was
baby.
good.
You know how that is. I'm telling you.
I like that. That's good.
Because
Yeah,
it's
that's a good idea.
the only thing we could get to unbox now. We could barely get sneakers anymore. So it's like without having to pull teeth and shit like that. So you get a baby faster than you can get a pair of sneakers, which is crazy.
That's good. I like that.
That was good. Yeah, that's a good idea, man.
I'm telling you, what
That's
you guys
cool.
been up to? Like I jumped on here and I was briefly listening here. Y'all talking about the COVID restrictions and as far as like different things that's going on with like conventions and stuff. I briefly heard y'all talking about that.
Yeah. It's pretty locked up for us. I'm in Canada, so shit's real rough for us right now.
Bro, I never even got a chance to make it to Canada before COVID, and now I feel like I can't enjoy anything fully with COVID. You know what I mean? Because you go someplace, but it's not exactly the same like you want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're pretty heavily locked up here. Like our government has just been brutal in terms of handling this and like vaccine supply and all that kind of stuff. They were assuming they'd have it, but they didn't have it, so they were opening stuff up before they should have opened stuff up, and it's a mess.
Dang.
Are you guys having issue with the vaccine? Because over here, we're having issue at the moment with the vaccine.
Not us. Like we go get vaccine whenever we want. Apparently, that's what it seems. That's what it seems like. Like it seems like the vaccine is readily available here in America. So
for us, like I'm gonna be like I'm 27, so they just opened vaccine availability up to my age group, which I think was 18 to 30, or sorry, 18 to 40. So they just opened the eligibility up to our age group beginning of May, and we have to wait. I think it's 3 to 4 months to get our second shot.
2 weeks to get the second one. Shit. All right. Well, apparently with us it's 2 weeks to get 2 weeks to get the second one. 2 weeks in between. 2 weeks in between getting the second shot.
Yeah, it's like 3. It's like 3 months for us.
Wow. 3 months, you might have COVID. Like, what? Shit, I feel like it's not gonna work at that point. Like it must expire in your blood by that long. Goddamn.
Yeah. So that's kind of to put it into perspective about how bad our vaccine supply is up here. So at least they're starting to pick it up, and people are getting vaccinated the way they should be. But yeah. As of right now, your next appointment for your shot is 3 months.
Oh,
yeah, that's crazy.
So listen, for all that, y'all can come to my house and I'll give y'all the vaccine. I got y'all. Like, yo, come see Smooth. I got y'all. I'm gonna give you the vaccine. Just pay me at the door. We got y'all here. We got y'all. I have a question about Canada as far as the sneaker pickups. How hard has it have been in the past 6 months to get sneakers there, man?
Brutal. Just brutal. Like it's real tough. So we don't have the sneakers app up here.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You wouldn't have got none anyway. You wouldn't
You take an L on the sneakers app anyways. Yeah. But our sneakers app is the Foot Locker app because you lose the same way as, you lose on that Foot Locker. Like the Foot Locker up here, they haven't figured out their online system yet. So basically their website crashes and all the bots get everything within seconds.
Yeah, the bots are the problem.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of places up here that do raffles. So they'll do like you basically just have to sign up for a raffle, and you can win some pairs. Oh, there's a place up here that does that I've been pretty lucky with. They do like an hour raffle. So between 1 to 2 on the Friday, so the day before the shoes release, you can sign up for a raffle, and then they pick from those. Yeah, so
raffles are bullshit, bro. Raffles are bullshit. You know why? Especially here, because they backdooring the motherfuckers anyway. Like at like places like the Villa and shit like that. I had a run-in with people there. So when the thing was, what they was doing here at one point, we just talking about, which I found out at the end of it, is that the raffles at these stores, they were doing the raffles wrong. So how it works is you would come into the store and get a raffle ticket, but the raffle ticket was basically a guaranteed fucking pair. But listen, here's the kicker. You didn't know when they were you didn't know when they would start the raffle. So you call up to the store and shit, and they'll bullshit you on when it's coming. Oh, we don't know when we're gonna do a raffle. We're gonna do a raffle. And of course they have like discords and shit, motherfuckers that work in the store. So when to go in there and get your tickets and everything like that. I found that out at the end of it when I picked up one.
So it's mostly like rigged.
Oh yeah. Now it's worse because it's not guaranteed pairs. It's supposed to be a real raffle now. So for all we know, motherfuckers ain't getting their pairs. And my size 12, all them sizes, they're not getting that many pairs of those anyway. So it's hard for me to get my hands on anything right now. And I see over here, Sherman, them daggone them big superstars are fire. I'm thinking about I might pay after retail for those because I think the retail wasn't too crazy. So I'm thinking about those too as well. But yeah, the raffles is bullshit. That's how they treat us. They don't love us out here. And like I'm gonna say for my new video coming up, fakes are on their way. People can start buying fakes. I'm not saying, but they're starting to apparently look one of one. So if instead of paying $400, you might kick out $110 and get something from the same factory. It's gonna mess the resale game up. That's what they need, though. That's exactly what they need. To be honest with you.
Well, they just it's hard. It's hard to get the pairs with COVID because they're producing them at so for us here we're getting things at like a staggered rate. That's kind of been one of our issues. So there'll be like a soft launch almost of it at boutiques or whatever it is. And then all the major retailers will get it after. So it's a combination of I've been able to pick stuff up over COVID. And I will say the one thing is that a lot of retailers had to kind of move everything to an automatic online system for us up here once COVID hit. So you don't have the human aspect of people okay, let me hold this pair down for my buddy, or, okay, these 10 pairs are all going to be going to X, Y, and Z friends and family of our store, right? Like it's a little bit more of an automated process now, I think, which is good. But yeah, it's still for us, we've been getting a lot of staggered releases. So Foot Locker one day will just put, Flint 13s last year, just one day went on their website. No, they're going to be launching. It was just one day. It was so.
It's stressful.
Well, here in Australia, we always get a shit release.
It's stressful.
we get the European leftovers. When they send pairs over here, it's small numbers.
Yeah.
So by the time it will release online, the bots will have them anyway, 100%. And then when they have it on raffle, they have a small amount of numbers of pairs to grab. So there's no way that it's either the bots win anyway all the time for the releases.
Yeah.
Yes. We share stock with Europe for us. So that is good. So for us specifically, or for me specifically at least, I'm a big Air Max fan. So we get a lot of, like in Canada, we can get a lot of exclusive Air Maxes because Nike, or sorry, at least Nike.ca will share stock with Canada. Some of that stuff that's like European only releases, we'll be able to get over.
Oh, that's good though. That's good. Y'all get some of the European releases.
Yeah.
But I think you get all the stock first in Canada before they release it in Europe.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. Like that, like I know, like the True Blues when they came out, I believe it was in 2009. That was an international release. So like the States didn't get it, but we had them up here in Canada and sitting. Right? Like just because it was an international release, right? So we got what we get.
How much?
As well.
27. I'm sorry, guys. I'm over here. I'm picking up dinner.
No worries, man.
What time is it over there?
It's 6:25 p.m. here.
Oh, right.
So what time is it over there? 6 or 8? It's like 8. It's like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning almost.
Yeah, 8:30 in the morning. If you watch my live yesterday with Ad Sneaks, I was still half asleep. That was 10 o'clock.
Yo, thank you. I know it's crazy. I know I'll be missing the live. Like I said, I'll be missing the lives because the time difference.
Yeah.
The time difference be killing me.
We just spoke about that, me and Trev.
Yeah, half the time when Anthony's doing these, I'm at work, right? So, and it depends if I have meetings. Sometimes I can jump in, but if I'm booked for something or I know I have something coming up, it's like I can't jump in. So.
Oh yeah. Like normally I'm free, like most of the time, but I'll be half asleep. So it's like, all right, I got crust in my eye. I see an alert about a live. What's going on? Am I missing something? What juiciness is going on? By the time I get myself together, the live be over. I think people be asleep. Somebody grab this. Our pizza. All right. Yeah. All right. But I'm about to get on this road right now. I just had to jump in and show y'all some love and get in on that conversation so y'all can hear about it. We all could discuss our heartbreak with COVID as well as all the sneakers that we're not getting. And at this point, I'm gonna start like stripping. I don't know what I gotta do to buy sneakers. Like the shit is, like I can't afford this shit no more. You can't afford sneakers no more. Which is like, and it's like I'm trying to chase somebody down and give them my money. Take my money. Take my $200. Like, nah, we don't want your $200. You go give your $400 to this guy over here.
Well, now you got a priority, you know. You got a kid.
I know. I got the baby. And I can't, you know, they're reselling kids sneakers. So this shit is crazy. Like the buy a pair of sneakers is like the price of a retail sneaker for grown people.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm gonna pay $100 and some for a damn size 6C.
Yep.
Fucking kidding me.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You fucking kidding me. Shit's crazy. Well, I think I'm boycott this shit. We're about to just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm gonna start buying like off-brand sneakers and shit. I've seen like a couple brands like, yo, I'm just gonna buy these. These look nice because we got into it because we like sneakers. It's not the brands. It's like, yo, this looks hot. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
So they don't realize that shit. Like we will buy whatever, like if it looks nice. So they don't understand.
Yeah, and especially for kids, it's tough, right? Because those baby J's are expensive, even if you're getting them at retail.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And I see $60, $70. I'm like, nah, man, I don't know, man. It's just kind of rough, bro.
Yeah.
Kind of rough.
Yeah, and you know they're going to grow out of it anyway.
You know?
It's more for you at that point anyways, right? Like it's more for you to have them like match you or whatever it is, right?
You got to buy the kid pair, they got to buy a sofa pair, and you're going to pay after retail for them. And they want your whole family to have a pair. You know, hey, we all should get this for Easter. No, that's not happening no more. That's not. We're going to save up and we're all going to use one pair. True. We're going to share it. We're all going to take up. Everybody get Monarchs. Everybody gets a Monarch. Yeah. I'm about to look for some. Yo, if I have.
No sound.
Yeah.
Your sound's off, man.
Hello. Hang on. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Smoothly. Yeah, his connection. Yeah. Is that?
There was a question in the chat here which we could talk about. Kicking it with
Yeah.
G.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the popularity of retro J's with younger kids because of all the vintage fashion at the moment?
Hmm.
You want to start?
Right. Hang on. I think most of the young generation really don't know the history of jazz these days.
Yeah.
It's more like the new generation is for resale. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. They had to flip them because now I see a lot of young generation that does flip, does not keep the shoe at all. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
They
Yep.
just flip them and flip them. So I think more like if they really into and deep with the sneaker collecting, they would actually search more about it. You know what I mean? Like about the history
Yeah.
of the pairs. And if they
Yeah.
know the history of it, I'm pretty sure they would love to keep them than reselling it. You know?
Yeah. Well, they'd want to keep it, right? I
Mm,
kind of take that in two ways because I think we'd kind of discussed this because there's this new trend of making everything look vintage, right?
mm,
So, like, you're going to get a new pair of, let's say, Bread Ones, for example, right? And you want to make the midsole look aged.
mm.
I don't understand that. And we kind of talked about this on a pod. We had a local vintage shop on. I think it was for episode 10 for us. But it was just the same thing, right? Like, why do you need to make something look vintage? Like, why do you need to make something look vintage before it's vintage?
Before it's
If
vintage,
it,
yeah.
right, like if you buy it, like I've been talking about, actually, we can talk about this next, but the Flint Sevens that just came out, right?
Mm,
I've been going back and forth on it if I should get a new pair or an old pair, right? And I'll go into my gripe about this after, but like the toe box on them is yellowed, right?
mm.
The white sole on it is yellowed at the toe box, right? That's because it's a what? It's a 17-year-old shoe, 18-year-old shoe,
Yeah.
right? Like it should look aged,
Mm.
right? Like that,
Look
right?
age, yeah.
So like, but the idea to like buy a new pair of shoes, whatever it is, right? Like, and I think there's certain things that you can get them dirty and stuff like that. But I mean, I think the specific example that I saw was the Dior ones. Remember when they did that really messed up pair of the Dior ones? Like they really aged it. Like
Yeah.
that didn't look right. Like it just I get it. You should wear the shoes, but like have them look like that over time because you wore them.
You wore them, yeah.
Yeah. And like in terms of popularity with Jays for younger kids, I think everyone gets to that point at some point where like they start to get into Jordans because their friends are into Jordans, or it's the cool thing and the it thing.
Yeah.
Definitely, I wish more people would know the history behind it because like even for me, right? I was born in '93, so for
Mm.
me, I remember Jordan with the Wizards, and please put your laughing emojis in the comments. Everyone on the pod always laughs at me, but like I went to see Jordan when he in a preseason game against the Raptors, and it was 2002 or three. I don't remember what year, but like just the respect that I saw that people had for him, and like even when I was a kid, like 5, 6 years old, I had like a champion Jordan jersey, right? And
Mm.
it kind of, but like all of this kind of stemmed from when I was younger. I asked my dad, who's the best basketball player? Like who is the best of all time? And
Mm.
my dad, not knowing anything about basketball at the time, or like not knowing any history behind it, is like, oh, it's Michael Jordan. So it's 5 or 6 years old. I'm like, cool. Everything's black and white in my world, right? Michael Jordan's the best player ever. Done. That's it. So I always had that kind of thought, but once I started to get into sneakers, like, and I started to learn the history behind, all these pairs, the black cement threes, all the different things, or sorry, not black cement threes, white cement threes, and, all the
Mm.
things he did in these shoes. Like, I learned the history behind it. So, yeah, I'm younger. Like, I didn't see Jordan in his prime, but, like, I appreciate the history behind all that stuff. And I don't
Yeah.
think people do that. They see shoes as a dollar value now, right?
Mm. That's like
But I
me.
will
I
say,
didn't I never watched a Jordan game. I've
Yeah.
only known him because of the Space Jam movie,
Yeah.
And I started, the first pair I ever had was the Jordan 7 hairs, and ever since then,
Yeah.
I love Jordans, you
Yeah.
know. And then
Yeah.
the more I got into the Jordans, I got more watching all his things, like all his videos and all that. That's how I became like actually in love with MJ. Because
Yeah.
back those days, you could never watch NBA back in the
No.
Philippines, you know?
Yeah. No, for
There was
sure. And even
there
for
was
us up
no
here,
air.
right?
Yeah, there was
For
no
us up
air.
here, like I'm not the person to talk to about what the TV schedule looked like, but like there wasn't a ton of basketball on TV for us up here, right? Like I mean, the Raptors at the time were I think they were around then. Yeah, they would have been around then. So you would have seen like you would have had all the Raptors games broadcast. But other
Mm.
than that, like from what, Kev and Rich tell me, it was kind of, there was, the Knicks were on TV a lot, the Pistons were on TV a lot. This would have been the early 90s, right? So, they were the hot teams and the Bulls were on TV a lot.
They didn't have the
Right, but I mean, other
NBA
than that,
TV
that was
back
it. But
then.
they would be like the Sunday matinee or something like that, right? Like it
Mm.
wasn't now where you could see you had
Every
the
game.
options. Yeah, exactly,
Mm.
exactly. So, but it's funny you talk about Space Jam because the Space Jam 9. This is 2010.
2010. Is it 20? Yeah, 2010, I think.
It's 2010.
Mm.
Like this is a top 3 shoe for me. Like
They're
and
comfortable.
for the
They're
same
comfortable too.
mad comfy. Nines are very underrated. However, they fit really, really weird. Like I find like if you guys are listening to the pod on the newest episode that comes out Monday, we're gonna talk about this. But we the sizing on them doesn't matter because it's always snug on the side of your foot.
Yes. Yes.
Like it's
Also,
just all like no matter
depends.
what.
Also depends how your feet structure is. It
Yeah,
could be
yeah,
wide or it could be long. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it
It's
also
that
depends on that.
soft liner.
Mm.
It's that soft liner. I think it just makes it a little bit tighter. But I have other like the 8s and the 7s, and I don't find that with them. But the 9s, a 12 and a 13 fits me the same. Doesn't matter.
What about the 10?
10s are fine. 10s are okay. I find they fit pretty true to size. Like the 12 for me is okay. Like it doesn't.
They're pretty
So
comfortable though.
like oh yeah, definitely 9s and 10s are like
Mm.
it's weird. Everyone has their own version of what like the most comfortable Jordan is.
But
Like I think
11 is the most comfortable one too.
11's good. I think 9, 10, and 11 were probably the peak of comfort, and we don't get the same technology that they would have had like back in the day. Like obviously there's some tweaks and stuff, so it's hard for us to like really say what's the most comfortable now. Because even with 11s, I find they're because of the patent leather, they don't really break in.
Mm.
So like not tight, but they are snug around your foot, and they won't really they won't break in after time. But I've always like for playing 9s and 10s are like
The
top
best.
notch.
Mm.
Yeah, top notch. So like if I was playing ball and I wanted to play in Jordans, those would definitely be the ones.
I was a bit upset with the Autolace Jordan 11.
Did you get them?
Yeah, I got them, but with the lacing thing, I'll grab them, but everyone's asleep in my room.
It's okay, no worries, man.
They all had a little drink last night. Everybody's
Oh, okay.
asleep.
So they're sleeping
But
in a little bit.
yeah, like the laces on them, they're not protected, and if they get caught up with anything, that's done.
Yeah.
There's no protection.
What did you think of that? Like that, them adding that to the 11? Like,
Ruined it. I just grabbed
I
it
don't know,
because
like,
I wanted it. I wanted to see it, but now
Yeah.
for having it, I can't even wear it with anything. To tell you the truth, I can't match it with anything. It looks funny.
when I first saw them, I was like, no, I don't know about that, right? And I think the other problem is they didn't make it in like a 11 colorway. You know, like they made it was what was it? It was white with like an infrared bottom.
Yeah, no,
Something like
it's clear. It's clear. And
Okay, but there's a color on there, isn't it like infrared or something like that? Like the Jumpman's an infrared, something like
just the
that?
Jumpman. Yeah, that's just just the Jumpman.
Yeah, like if you'd done that as a bread, for an example,
Oh, Concord.
well, a Concord, a bread, like, some, like, an original colorway like that,
Mm.
okay, that's kind of
Would
cool,
have.
like, but, like, you made it a color that is completely irrelevant, and if you would put that color on any, like, regular 11, they would have sat for
Mm.
forever, right?
Mm.
So, like, I don't know, I personally don't think the adapt technology is enough to, like, to sell that shoe, right? For me, at least, in
Mm.
my there was nothing else to it that I was like, oh, that's really cool. It's a bread with self-lacing. Like, it was just,
Oh,
man,
they could even make it as a Pantone colorway.
could
I
have done
mean,
so much stuff. They could have done
mm.
so much stuff with that, right? Like, there's so
Mm.
many things that they could have done with that shoe, and they
Mm.
didn't do anything with it. So, a little disappointing. I mean, I like the adapt technology. I don't know. It's really expensive.
Yeah, and then it's really that they don't release on the big numbers as well. They
No.
release on very small numbers.
Yeah. So, I don't know that I want to pay like $400 or $500 for a pair of shoes, right?
Mm.
That the only thing I'm paying, again, that's retail, right? And the only thing I'm
Mm.
paying for is because they self-lace. I don't know about
Yeah, that's what I was upset about.
that. Yeah.
uh,
Did you have any pickups recently?
no, I've been concentrating on my clothing lately, but it's been giving me a problem.
Okay.
It's been months with my merch, and then it's either that or my website, like the people that works for me. You pay
Mhm.
them and they don't do the right work. It stresses me out sometimes. And
Yeah.
then you're like, if you think like you're gonna do it on your own when you have kids and everything, you kind of, squash everything, you kind of get stressed sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, I feel you because like even within the group, right? Like Rich and Kev have kids. Collie doesn't have kids, but like for a lot of the podcasting and all that kind of stuff, like I run the Instagram. I do. Oh, sorry. Do most of the work on the Instagram, and then like I
Mm,
edit the pod, everything, right? That like that. But same thing. Like when we started this, Richard kind of said to me, like you got to be the one to push this up the hill. Like like
mm,
we'll jump on the pod, we'll hang out, we'll chat, but like we're not gonna have time to really like be the ones
do
editing the pod, that kind of stuff, right? We'll help where we can, but you got to be the one to push this up the hill. So I feel you, like
mm.
if you have kids and a family and all that, I can see how it'd be stressful for sure.
Yeah, it is, especially when you got people on your team and they don't want to listen. It's kind of
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah,
one team, one guy,
yeah,
one guy team. But
yeah,
at
for
least at
sure.
least you've got those people that works with you, works out with you. Works good.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been friends for years. We've run shows together, like we've done a bunch of things. So I mean, it's all good. You just have to have that understanding when you go in. But yeah, like I mean, there isn't a ton of work to be done. It's just to keep on top of the IG and stuff like that. Like I'm always trying to have stories and posts and stuff. The post we've been slacking on a little bit. That's on all of us. But yeah,
Mm,
like it's a team effort as much as you can. Just
that's it. That's it.
I I have two pickups here that I can show you if you want.
Okay.
So I know I said it is hard to get things up here, but I was able to pick up the Raging Bulls.
They're
Sorry, I
fire.
know with the light you can't really see the details. But you know what? I was pretty impressed with this overall. Like it's
The
definitely a shorter
material
hair.
wise.
Yeah, like it's definitely a shorter hair suede
Mm,
than the original one because it was like a really, really good suede on the first one. But overall, like the shoes damn near perfect. Like in the box too. Like the crate, same way as the pack had it.
yeah, the old pack.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm not a big fives guy personally, but you look on the side here, it says Toro Bravo. I know it's backwards for you guys. Yeah, like they did a really, really good job on these. Like, you know, I was very impressed. Like down to the box. Like I think the only thing between these and the OG that you're missing is the insole on the OG had the wooden like crate
The wooden
on
crates,
them.
yeah, yeah.
But like that's really like
That's
that's sold
nothing.
to the
You don't see the
no
you don't see it
no
anywhere.
one's seeing your insole, right? Like
Mm.
you're wearing the shoes, no one's gonna see that. So that one didn't bother me too much. But I mean, I was really impressed. Like, 'cause even the details in the box, right? We often, you
Mm.
know, see Jordan do this kind of stuff, and they leave out these small details, right? Like, you know, the original box was like in this crate, and you know, it was really cool, and you don't see that on the retro. So I thought they did a really good job on that. And I actually won a contest from Soul Savvy. I don't know if you saw this or not.
Oh, did you see? Did you see? Oh, the bacon.
So during Air Max month, they just had a contest. It was basically just tag us in your photo, use this hashtag. We'll pick 3 winners, right? And you got to choose between these and the clots. So I was really, really excited for these this year.
Congrats,
I
man.
didn't get on.
Wow.
Yeah, man, and I got them for free in the end too, right? Like, so it worked out really well. And I struck it on. I think like I was saying, our releases for these were staggered this year. So like our Nike stores up here just got them.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
like
pretty
I think
great.
it was. Yeah, I think one of our guys, Kev, actually won a raffle for someone. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Mm.
I think he did pick up Thursday or Friday. So, like, just for perspective, like, you know, they were late with these up here. So I struck out on the 1 or 2 raffles that I entered up here, like originally, and then I won these, so it was fine. Like I didn't need it, but they're not reselling for a ton. So even like it was one of those things where if I didn't end up winning anywhere, I would have just gone to StockX and picked up a pair, sort of thing. But I was quite happy because I don't know if you saw the quality on a lot of them was like really, really bad. Like they're like
Unlike
the left
the
and
old
right
ones.
shoe. Yeah, like the left and right shoe didn't match. Like, you know, the tumbling on the leather was completely different. You know, like
No.
like just bad. Like, you know, I saw a bunch of pairs like right in the back here. They had like pen marks, like either just right down the middle or like all across here. Just like a bunch of small things like that. So I was pretty happy when my pair came in and it was, you know, good quality because it was kind of, it was looking like it was a 50-50 shot. It was going to be bad. So I was quite happy they came in and they looked good. And like the toe box, I don't have the other one out, but I mean, looked quite similar to that. So yeah, as an Air Max collector, I was.
That's a historical pair for Air Max, the bacon.
Yeah, definitely.
Everybody
That's
knows.
like Air Max is my thing too. So I was very happy to actually be able to get these, and to get them for free was huge.
What do you think about the Travis Air Max coming out?
I don't know what I think, to be honest with you. So I saw the picture of him, like with them on his feet. Can't say I was a fan, but I also understand that someone snapped that on what looked like, you know, a 1996 Motorola flip phone. So we can't be using that as like a gauge for how it's going to look. It didn't look great in that picture, but it was in a dark room and the photo wasn't great. I've seen their mock-ups of the shoe. I don't know.
I think there's 5 colorways that's gonna release. Yeah.
So, and again, that might have been that colorway and the angle. I don't want to knock it, but I can't say from like the mocked up versions I've seen people do, I can't say I'm overly fond of the shoe. There's something about that inverted swoosh on that model that I don't like. Like, I thought the inverted swoosh it wasn't my favorite thing on the Jordan 1, but I thought it was cool and it worked well. I don't know how it works on the 1. And actually, the other thing too is if you look at like an Air Max 1, right? See how the check doesn't go all the way to the end?
All the way, yeah.
So he's got the full swoosh, which I think is also what's throwing it off. Because now it's not like it changes the whole shoe, right?
Yes.
With the full, like it just like the check is longer than it should be. I think that's also what's throwing me off. So I want to see more detailed photos before I make an assumption. But as of right now, I can't say I'm a fan. And The problem for Air
7.
Max collectors, such as myself, is that now that Travis is doing this, everyone's going to be on the Air Max thing.
Mm.
So I've
It's
got a
gonna
bunch of one of the
be,
good things in Canada is like maybe back 5-6 years ago, you used to be able to go to the outlets and there was always a bunch of stuff there, and I should say specifically Air Max stuff. So I've got like a bunch of like not hyped Air Maxes, but they're like they were releases and they did have some backing to them. So if that happens next year, I'm gonna be moving some of my Air Max collection. I'll just tell you that right now.
they actually you wouldn't tell, like they could actually go up, them old
Mm-hmm.
ones.
Yep, yep. Because
That's
right,
what
like big thing for me with Air Maxes is they're just like so. You probably know, but I used to work at Foot Locker. I was a store manager, and I worked my way up there. So, I loved Air Maxes. I just love the look of them, and I would always recommend them to people if they came in and were just looking for something like casually to wear, right? And I like them enough that I have a bunch of general release Air Maxes, right? So you probably saw actually during Air Max month, right? I did about 10 days where I was just wearing GR Air Maxes. And, I stretched the limits of what that was a little bit, right? Just to kind of like
Just to kind
get
of
some
have an extra.
well, the other thing too was that like when you're doing 30 days of it, yeah, I think it was 30 days of Air Max, right? Like, I kind of I planned out everything that I was going to do. So it was kind of like, okay, this is technically a hype pair, but it's sat here so I can put it into GR, stuff like that, right? Because I've got like, okay, I've got my 10 hype pairs and then I've got, so there's a few that sneaked in there, but for the most part, I love going to the outlets and just finding Air Maxes. Like, doesn't have to be anything hyped. Like, what do they have in Air Max? Like, is there any like anything on the hash wall that's 30 off that's really cool, right? Like, I love that kind of stuff with Air Max because it's just a good shoe.
You don't really need any hype on your collectors. If you want them, you have them when you're collecting. Collectors.
That was exactly the idea of it. Was that like I was wearing all these pairs that people were like, oh, that's cool. Like, oh, that's cool. Like, and like, oh, I picked this up for $40. Oh, this was like a $60 cop. Like, oh, this was a $210 shoe and I got it for $60, right? Like, I think, do I have this? You familiar with these? That's a cleaner one.
Oh yeah.
This was $99,
Wow.
regular $210, and I think I probably would have got at least 30 off on it. It's probably $70.
Wow.
Like just, I look at these stuff. Sometimes I look at this stuff on StockX now just to kind of like, what is this going for? Like, like, and it's like, wow, crazy. Even when I worked at Foot Locker, I was able to pick up I believe it was a 2010 Air Max 90, the laser blues. $40.
Wow. That's
right?
That's pretty nice, man.
Yeah,
and
cheap,
like
at the time the infrareds weren't out, and I really wanted them, but they only had the blue, and I was like, oh, cool, this is exactly the infrared, but with blue, right? And it was funny when I saw the lasers come out. What was it, last year or last fall? And it was kind of like,
the year before.
Yeah, I think it was 2020, like in the fall or something like that. And it was kind of like, oh, I've had this shoe for years, like actually a decade. I've had this shoe for a decade, right? So it's funny to see. I will definitely be interested to see what Air Max looks like next year. Once
Next year will be, yeah.
Or sorry, is Travis Air Maxes this year? Or is it next year?
I
it's
think,
probably at the end of the year.
I think at the end of the year, but I think it's more like his fragment. I think the Air Max is gonna drop soon, and then the fragment comes out. They're hyping that up so much.
I don't know exactly what the timing is. I thought those Air Maxes were at the end of the year.
No, I think
like September, October, maybe.
I think it's gonna be the Air Max that's gonna release first, and then the fragments.
I'll be interested to see because like when you do, like I know Nike's not pushing it anymore, but when you get to like Air Max month, I'll be interested to see what if it's like if there's some change, if there's a bigger looking towards Air Maxes sort of thing. I'll be interested next year to see, especially if those Travises do well, right?
Yeah. Well, I think I would want to get a pair of the fragments just to, just because it's I really wanted it by the look of it, but
Yeah.
just for them hyping it up so much, it make me actually don't want it anymore because everybody's like when I look at my page on Instagram, everybody's flexing them even though they haven't released, and you're like, oh fuck, it's that again.
It's like I don't personally understand. Like, I mean, I get it. It's Travis and it's hype, and maybe I'm just I'm cut from a different cloth, or I don't see it that way, right? But like, if you look at the mochas and you look at the Travises, the only difference is the inverted swoosh, and then the coloring's slightly different, but similar idea, right?
Yes.
Like, I don't think that's a huge selling point for me, sort of thing, right? Like, I think the sixes are really like way overhyped. I actually talked about this on the pod a week or two ago. Do you remember the wheat sixes? Remember when they did that wheat pack?
Yes.
So
Yes.
13 ones and sixes. Like, those sixes sat forever. Like, Rich was actually able to get a pair at a Foot Locker for $50.
Wow.
Like, think about that. Now, everyone and their mother is going after these Travis sixes. And what's the difference? A stash pocket, glow-in-the-dark soles, which if you're wearing the shoes, you can't see. And once you wear them, they're probably not going to be as glowy, or they're not going to glow as well as they would have if they're clean. And a stash, like, I mean, is that really, like, I don't know. I did like the one lows. I will say that the brown with the like the red trim. The black, brown, and the red trim.
Black, brown, yeah.
I thought that was really nice. I'd say the Travis ones, the highs were like they were okay. It wasn't anything that I was crazy about. I'm also not a big white shoe fan, so that's also part of it. The fours were nice, but the quality was just way, way off on them.
Yeah, and then they made the unlimited release, which is the two pairs of the Travis, the blue ones, I think, of the fours.
Oh yes. There was the white, and there was the like that multicolored blue.
Yeah.
The Air Force was nice. I'll say that. Like the blue one, I think it was it's kind of like a multicolor, but it was primarily blue, I believe it was, right?
Oh, the Air Force.
Yeah, the Air Force. Yeah. That one was okay in my opinion. Not a big Dunks fan, so I could have cared less for his dunks, but I thought they were cool with what he did with the design. But yeah, like it's all hype. Like that's all it is.
Yeah,
it's just
hype. Yeah. What about what do you think about the Jordan 4 military? I heard it's coming up with the collab with the Off-White.
Yes, I did hear that.
That's
yes.
sad. That is sad. For people that was waiting for it to drop.
Yeah, well, they haven't announced if they are actually going to release it or not. Which I'm thinking the answer is no, but they haven't confirmed or denied. Like, I don't know. Because it was supposed to release, I thought it was like August it was supposed to come out. Like summer, I thought it was.
Yeah, August. Around August, yeah.
So it's possible that that's going to be one of the Off-Whites. If you ask me, it's like, I'm not a big fan of the Off-White stuff anyways. Like the only Off-White I have is the Air Max 90s. 90s. The black and white ones. And I really, really love that shoe. Like, I think it's clean. It's unique. Like, they did a good job on it. But like in terms of anything else, I'm unbothered by them. Like, the breads I think the bread 4s that they're supposed to release look pretty nice. The militaries, yeah, they're okay, but like,
we only have 50 seconds left.
Okay, so we gotta wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up. And Trevor, I just want to say thank you and your team for supporting me all the way through when I started. I appreciate you guys. Much love. And
yeah, you as well, man. We appreciate you supporting us as well. And if you haven't checked out our podcast, go check it out. It's on all your streaming services. It's the Inkixwetrust podcast. You can check out our page. There's links to the pod as well there.
Send my love to the family, Trev. You guys always stay safe.
You as well, man.
Much
Take
love,
it easy.
brother. You too.